All right, it says I'm going. I don't really see any indication of that happening after a massive, massive crash on my end here. Let me just check because it was like right when I hit go live, this thing was just full on black screen. All right, seems like we're okay. I don't want to like jinx anything here, but as of right now, it seems like I'm all right. See, look, my hair's crazy. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing here, but how we doing? We're live. Sorry for the technical difficulties there. That was a nightmare. Like right when I hit go on this thing, just full on crash. Not exactly how I wanted to started this, but everyone and their mother right now, I think, is talking about Superman. So I was like, all right, let's have a little chat about the Man of Steel. So let's see who's in the chat here for a second. Already coming right off the bat with some questions. The Obathorian Alliance for Superman 2. Who would be my villain of choice? So if you saw my review, I went over, I'm not like the biggest Superman fan. Movies and TV pretty much, but not really the comics. I'm trying to change that. I'm trying to buy into the DCU, so I'm going to read All-Star Superman. I'm going to read, I think it's Up in the Sky, going to read Kingdom Come, but some of my knowledge is from video games, right? So I'm thinking of like Injustice 2. I kind of want to see Brainiac show up. That might be a super normie answer. I'm sorry. I'm a really normie Superman fan at this point in time, but I think I'd probably say Brainiac. He's just got a cool aesthetic about him and looked pretty cool in that game. I don't really have anything else to draw off of. And then he hits me with another question. Would you say this Superman is as good as Matt Reeves' Batman with Matt Reeves and Robert Pattinson? No. I'm a massive fan of the Batman. I've been drinking the Kool-Aid on Pattinson ever since Good Time. I think that was back in like 2017. Absolutely love that movie. I think he really proved to everyone that he's an incredible actor and left those twinkling Twilight days behind him. But for that reason alone, and I think Corenswet is one of the bright spots of this Superman movie. He really is. But so many more things come together in that Matt Reeves Batman movie. It almost feels like a PG-13 Saw movie mixed with the detective noir feel. I really dig the hell out of that film. There's a lot more messiness and tonal issues with James Gunn's Superman. And, I'm seeing people lambast this film all over the internet. I do not agree with a lot of the critiques. Thought the CGI was good for the most part. I understand people didn't really like the tone. Tone wasn't an issue for me. There were way too many characters. The roster was massive. I mean, it felt like you were doing DC speed dating at some point because it was just every 5 seconds a new person is showing up. And, the script had a couple rough areas just in regards to injecting comedy, which I did think the comedy was pretty good in this, but not letting the emotional moments linger long enough for me to really care about it. So, quick answer to the question. I know that I was just droning on and on. The Batman is better by a good margin for me. I did like Superman, and I'm now excited for the future of the DCU. I do not want Pattinson's Batman to be the DCU Batman. Maybe we'll get into that a little bit further, but I'm not that jazzed about that idea. Keep those apart from each other. Hayden's in here saying, "What's up, Sully? Good to see you. Good to see you too, man. I see you streaming like every other day. I thought I had to get on my grind here, so I appreciate you being here." Made it to a live stream and all the way at the bottom of the planet. Dude, happy to have you here. Thanks for stopping by. Really appreciate it. Big time fan of the channel, and I always appreciate you tuning in. Zacatech saying, "I look great." No, man, you look great. I'm sure you do. Hayden saying Superman is peak. Dude, you know what? I'm really glad you think that. I know a lot of people, this is such a divisive film, right? Like, it is so split 50-50, which makes it even weirder that I'm kind of one of those people more in the middle. Like, I like it. I didn't love it, definitely didn't hate it, but I had fun with it in the theater. There were some epic moments. It was definitely a tonal shift that I was looking for, you know, bright and hopeful. The massive 180-degree difference from what Zack Snyder was doing, right? For better or for worse. And, but no, I'm glad you really loved it. You know, I think there is a lot to like about it. I want to see it again. It definitely has that quality about it. I'm seeing people that say they don't like the movie. They want to see it again. So Zack Attack hit me with some suggestions. Superman, American Alien, Superman Birthright. Yeah, I'm going to add those to the list. I think I saw those online. I don't think I added those yet. Definitely going to have to go into the reading list. Not on par with Batman, despite David trying hard. Hot Girl's not needed as much, even though I like the actor. Yeah, I mean, look, I like all the actors involved. There was just way too many of them. And like, I was hearing stuff that there's so much Daily Planet content that was minimized in the film. Makes it a little surprising why that was cut out, seeing as it's only like 2 hours, which is pretty light for a superhero movie, especially when you consider the amount of ambition and stuff packed into this one. But yeah, I like that hot girl actress as well. She's been pretty good in anything I've seen her in. But there was definitely a lot left on the cutting room floor. Like, I'd love if this thing does as well as the box office as it seems like it's going to. Would definitely like to see if they let James Gunn do like a little director's cut action. Like, would that be asking for too much? I think I'd like to see that. Do you think James Gunn should have chosen a different director instead of himself? Maybe like a Matt Reeves to give this version of Superman more of a grounded approach? No. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing a different director. That doesn't bother me, but not for that reason. I think we already got a grounded Superman in the last iteration. You know, love it or hate it when it comes to the Snyderverse stuff. But I think it's fine that Gunn directed it. Maybe, if anything, I would have liked to see someone else write it. You know, Gunn's directorial style has never been in question for me. I've liked a lot of what he's done, going back to his horror days, like all the way back to Slither. He's always had cool shot composition, and I like his tone. Maybe someone different should have written the script. I think that would have maybe made me be a little bit more of a fan of the film and let those emotional moments hit hard and not have those comedy tidbits undercut, you know, a big crescendo of a dramatic moment. That's just me personally. I mean, a lot of people seem like they are liking the tone, but that's just what I think. Zack Attack saying, yeah, if this is the quality of the DCU, let's keep Robert Pattinson away from this. Yeah, and you know, I'm not hating on the DCU so far. I just think the tone of the Batman, I mean, that's my favorite standalone Batman movie. The tone is everything in that film. It just makes it so enjoyable. Like I said, it feels like you're watching like a PG-13 Saw movie, but with a noir detective angle to it. I really dug everything about that film. I mean, that was like one of the only 5 out of 5s I've ever given on this channel. Might be like that, Top Gun, Dune 2. I can't remember if there's anything else, but obviously I hold that movie in very high regard. So yeah, keep Pattinson away from it just so we can get more of that tone and that material, but not because I think the DCU is going to be a shit show. I just think that's asking for more of like a cartoony, cosmic, comic book type of stuff. Zach's in the middle like me as well. Yeah, no, I gave it a 7 out of 10, 3.5 out of 5. Enjoyable fun in the theater. Wish there was some things where they could tighten the screws up a little bit, but Corenswet was good. Not, this might be a hot take that I've been finding. Not a big Nicholas Hoult, Lex Luthor guy from this first viewing of him. I thought he was pretty one note. I was looking for something a little deeper. I understand if his whole character in this is just supposed to be that he's a guy that will do anything to bring down Superman. He hates him so much. Like, sure, he accomplished that, but I was looking for a little more behind that from that first viewing. But maybe I'll learn to like him. I don't really know. Hayden saying, yeah, it's definitely not perfect, but it has its flaws. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you agree with me. I think my biggest two flaws that I've been pointing out is just, like I said, too many characters and a little bit of exposition dumping in there, right? Like characters that are just basically saying exactly what they want to accomplish or saying how they became the person they became. Like I think the engineer did that a couple times, and I think Corenswet did that a couple times too. So, and I understand Gunn's trying to go for a younger audience. He's trying to make sure younger people can understand and get motivated by this and everything. That's great. I just still think, I mean, it's PG-13, right? So I think we could have figured all that out without that hand holding in the script, but that's just me. That's just me personally. What do we got next? What's the next movie you'd like to see in this universe? So going off of what was announced, and if these big franchises are similar at all, you got to take that with a grain of salt, right? Because how many Star Wars is on my shit list right now, but how many Star Wars movies have they announced and just canceled and they've never come to fruition? But of the ones that have been announced right now, even before seeing Superman, the one I want to see the most is James Mangold's Swamp Thing. Now, James Mangold is a dude whose films I have loved for so long. He could do no wrong in my eyes until Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. I'm willing to look past that. I'm willing to hope that that was a bunch of studio interference and it was a project that was kind of doomed from the start. Yeah, he probably shouldn't have taken it then in that regard, but still, I'm willing to look past that because Swamp Thing is such a rich, interesting, dark character to have a movie about. I would love to see that. It's definitely going to be a much different tone. Like it would be a lot, even though it's going to be comic booky and kind of larger than life, it still has more in common with the Batman tone, to me at least, that's what it should do, than with Superman. But I'm excited to see it. Awesome filmmaker. Like I said, forgetting about Indiana Jones 5 for a second. He massacred my boy, but I don't think it was really his fault. Not all his fault. Dev could have been 2.5 hours and it would have been fine because it's fun. Yeah, I mean, all the depth, and I'm seeing a comment down below talking about like a lack of depth, but all that depth is what was kind of missing in this, right? Like it was a lot of fun. The action scenes didn't seem like they were cut short. What we were missing was more of those dramatic character moments. I think a lot of that ended up on the cutting room floor. I think at the end of the day, that final cut, the opinions from the studio was probably like, keep it light, keep it exciting, keep it fun, which they did that, but I was looking for a little bit more drama. I was looking for a little bit more character development. Because think about it, we actually didn't get much character development in this movie. Like, Superman from the beginning is just a guy born, he thinks he's put on this planet to do good and always protect anyone that he can. That's how he is at the end of the movie, too. He overcomes some stuff that's kind of tough, like physically tough. But, I think a lot of the depth in those character moments are what got cut out in favor of more fun and bombastic action sequences. And like I said, I liked the action sequences. I thought, I was a big fan of the kaiju fight, big fan of the fight in the baseball stadium, but wouldn't mind seeing an extended version of this where maybe we got more drama. I know that might be asking for too much in a superhero movie, but that's what I wanted. Oh no, ripped to shreds in here. Absolute dog shit. Just left the theater. Sadly terrible. The two nations at war appear to be Israel and Palestine, with the villains being the Israelis in the movie. Script is awful. Yeah, I mean, obviously the movie was written 3 years ago. There's plenty of comparisons that are flying around when it comes to real world occurrences and what this movie looks like. Outside of it being about two warring countries or one country wanting to invade another in this film, I didn't find it more political than other Superman stories. Like, I feel that Superman is always going to have political undertones that follow around him just because he is that friggin' powerful that if he deems something being unjust, like with two nations attacking each other, he has the power by himself to make a difference about it and just change stuff based on his point of view, his perspective, and who he wants to win and who he wants to lose. So that's kind of what I viewed it as in this film as well. Didn't really bother me that much. I mean, the president of that invading country or the defending country, I can't even remember what it was, but he was kind of just like an annoying dude. I didn't love the character, but I didn't think that the political stuff was not something that I was like, damn, I wish this wasn't in here. Didn't bother me as much as it seems like it's bothering other people. He should have gotten a different writer. Yeah, I wouldn't mind a different writer. I don't know who I would want to write it that would match James Gunn's tone, because, you know, his movies are so singular with that kind of goofy punk rock, bright color, bombastic energy type of stuff. So I don't know who I would suggest to write it, but yeah, I wouldn't have minded a different writer. I'm fine with him directing it. But sometimes these director and writers, like, I mean, think about it. Gunn is like co-CEO of this whole shebang. He's going to have his pick of the litter of whatever projects he wants to do. And if he wants to write something, no one's going to tell him no. That's like a ton of power to have in this franchise and have over, you know, this slate of movies in this universe. So no one's ever going to tell him he can't do it. But I do think sometimes he might be sniffing his own farts a little too hard. But, you know, it happens. Like I said, I don't think it was the worst thing in the world. I liked it. I'm positive on my rating here for this, but those moments where I think things could improve and it could bring me to like an 8 out of 10, it does fall with the script. So I think, yeah, it wouldn't have been awful to see someone else take the torch when it comes to writing the script. Do you think the Superman movie does enough compared to Thunderbolts in Fantastic Four? I mean, it depends on what you mean by does enough. If you're talking about box office, this opening weekend might even beat Thunderbolts, right? Like, I don't remember where that landed at the end of its box office run, but I know people were kind of disappointed. Marvel was disappointed with how it performed. But when it comes to like doing enough, like, do I think it's going to be the best movie? I don't know. I'll just say this. Fantastic Four, they're the most comics, like they're the group I've read the most comics of in the Marvel universe, any universe actually. So I'm a massive fan of their stuff. I pray to God that Fantastic Four is like an 8 out of 10 or above for me. And the stuff I've been seeing of it, like I really like it. That new clip of like Pedro Pascal using his powers of Mr. Fantastic, that is key to me. That is pivotal that they get the stretchy body looking not as non-janky as possible, even though it is comical, just like by function. But I pray that Fantastic Four is really good. I don't really care about like a Marvel versus DC fake war type thing. I'm not on one side or the other. I just want good movies, but I do have a stake in Fantastic Four. Like, I really want to see that be an upper tier Marvel movie. They need a winner. They need a big winner, and I think this is set up to give them that. So I really hope they're bringing their A game here. Good cast. So hopefully they do it. And what's his name? Galactus isn't a cloud anymore. He isn't like an angry storm cloud. So that's already an improvement. Let's see here. I think Holt didn't have enough. Yeah, if you're talking about he wasn't given enough to really do to make him interesting, I would definitely agree with that. Like I said, he was very one note, but I think that he was giving us exactly what was on the page. Like, he's, I think, one of the most underrated actors working today. I've really liked him in everything I've seen him in. This might be my least favorite of his performances, even though I still think it's all right. So that just shows you how good I think this guy is. He's so underrated in the grand scheme of like young actors we have today. His name doesn't get brought up enough, I don't think. But yeah, I think he was just giving us exactly what was on the page. I don't think there was much room for him to add depth, to add nuance behind just hating Superman. Like, he had a very singular goal. If that's all you wanted out of him, then you probably think he did a pretty good job. And like I said, I'm not the biggest Superman fan. I'm no expert. So if that's all Lex is supposed to give us, then I guess he did a good job. But maybe I just don't like, maybe I just don't love him as a character, you know? But I hope we see more progression out of him. This is obviously just the first crack at it. You know, he's been through something now. He got thwarted by Superman, so hopefully that means we have more to go off of next time around. I mean, he's going to be in prison, so I don't know what that's going to look like, but no depth to any of the characters, a lot of tell and no show. Yeah, no, I'm completely on board with you. A lot of spectacle. It's definitely fun at that as well. But yeah, not a lot of meat on the bone to really sink our teeth into. Do you think Superman is more for the super fans or more for the casual audience? That is such a tough question to answer, right? Because it depends what demographic, what subcategory within the character's fandom you're talking about, right? So Snyder Bros are hating this thing. Anyone that loved Man of Steel and that was their shit, that was their wavelength, they loved it from beginning to end. It seems like they're pretty much hating this movie. And I don't blame them in the sense that it's a complete 180-degree departure from what Zack Snyder was doing with the character. I do think, come on, like go into it with an open mind. Do you really want to see the same thing over again? If you do, that's fine, but this movie wasn't really for you to begin with. I'm the most casual of Superman fans, and I dug it. Like I said, I'm a 7 out of 10 on the movie. So I don't know. It seems like if you love capital C comic book movies, like larger than life stuff happening and kaijus and colors and quirks and comedy, then I think those people seem to really dig it. Like I said, I'm more in between, but I lean positive at like a 3.5 out of 5. But again, for some reason, there is a quality about this movie that like you want to see it again. I want to see it again, even though I didn't love it. Like there are movies I thought Sinners was one of the best movies of the year. I haven't seen it twice. For some reason, this movie has some quality about it that I want to check it out again and see what my thoughts are second viewing. Rip to Shred says, opinions are funny. Hated the new Superman, loved Man of Steel. Oh no, dude. Hated the Batman, loved Batman Returns. Oh man. I mean, look, you're entitled to your own opinion. I have a hard time swallowing that one about the Batman. I think it's like the essential, perfect Batman movie, but you're entitled to your own opinion. See, AG's in the house. Thanks for stopping in, dude. Agreed. Thought it was fun and entertaining, but was a letdown for me. Was hoping for more Clark Kent and Superman focus. I mean, yeah, it was interesting. This was a Superman movie through and through, right? Like, we got almost no Clark Kent in this thing. I mean, is he in the Daily Planet office for one scene? Maybe two? Kind of crazy. I was not expecting that. Definitely hope they explore that side of the character a little bit more, next time around. Let's see here. Superman learned nothing and didn't lose anything. Yeah, and I hate to agree with people saying like it's not an interesting character by design because he's like all powerful and he can't lose and he's got so many superpowers in his arsenal. It's like it's insane. Like I couldn't even list them. I understand it from that regard. Like you never want to watch a character where you feel like they don't have any stakes. Like if it's just some unbeatable guy that you know is going to come out all right, like sure, maybe there'll be collateral damage and someone he cares about will get hurt or he'll fail. Some villain will attack the city and that means there'll be casualties. That way it'll affect him, sure. But I don't know why they didn't give us a little. I mean, like I said, he can be kind of a boring character, for lack of a better way to explain it. I think it's really on the script to make him interesting. Like you got to have a banger of a script. We all know what I think about the script right now. Clark Kent's parents were a tragic letdown. I mean, I wouldn't say they're a tragic letdown, but like, how little did we get of these guys? You know, it's what we get, like 2 scenes, and again, it was one of those moments where, you know, he gives Clark a little bit of a pep talk. Pa Kent gives him a little bit of a pep talk, and then didn't even have any room to breathe. Like it was 8 seconds done. Didn't have a chance to care about it, unfortunately. So the emotion and the depth is really what's missing in this one. Thunderbolts ended like 364 to 380 million. I mean, yeah, this one's gonna fly by that. Fantastic Four, that could do that with its eyes closed. Yeah. So referring back to the previous question, did it do enough to beat those out? I don't know. I think it's going to go toe to toe with Fantastic Four. It's obviously going to smash the box office from Thunderbolts. I cannot wait for Supergirl and Batman in the DCU, says Tank Kramer. Tank, glad to have you in here, dude. Shoes on the other foot for one night, huh? I'm usually in that live stream, but happy to have you here. Yeah, no, I don't know what clicked in my head recently, but I'm really looking forward to Supergirl. I don't know why. It might be just because I like Millie Alcock as an actress. Obviously, I really miss her in House of the Dragon as young Rhaenyra. I thought she was putting out some great stuff, so it kind of bummed me out a little bit when they time jumped and we got older Rhaenyra. Still think that actress is really good too, but you know, I miss Millie Alcock in the role. And then I just watched her in that Netflix show Sirens, that limited series. It's kind of like a pulpy, girly show. I watched it with my wife, but it's good. It's like her, Megan Fahey from White Lotus, Julianne Moore, Kevin Bacon, Glenn Howerton. Highly suggest that if you're looking for like a quick 1-day binge. Like I think I did it in like one setting. But ever since then, you know, I'm kind of fired up for Supergirl, especially after you were telling me it's a lot more cosmic and outer space of a story. That kind of pumps me up. I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what happens there. The director choice interests me. Not who I would have picked. Craig Gillespie, if that's his name. He did like Dumb Money and I, Tonya and the Fright Night remake, which I do dig that Fright Night remake. But you know, be interesting to see what he does with it. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Supergirl. And then I don't need to know anything about the Batman details to get excited about it. Like, it's Batman. Everyone grew up loving Batman. The quintessential heroes is like, for me, is Batman, Spider-Man, Captain America. Like anything they're in, I'm gonna watch. So definitely excited to see that movie. I think that's it has an interesting task, right? Because we got the first movie in this shared universe. So it's going to be interesting to see with this second film, how much is it going to be connected? How much is this going to fall in the footsteps of like the MCU? You know, even though we didn't see too much cohesion when we're setting up the first couple entries of different heroes and stuff, it'll be interesting to see what kind of approach they take there. I agree. Gunn can direct, but we need a different writer. We love Guardians. Yeah, I mean, Guardians rocks. You know, catch me on the right day of the week. I'll probably say it's the best trilogy in the MCU, maybe. But yeah, he can definitely direct. He's got such a charming, you know, quality about his movies that he knows how to pull on the old heartstrings. I mean, if you have me tearing up over a talking tree and a talking raccoon, and even liking this flying dog who in the trailers, you know, I didn't think I was going to like Crypto. I ended up thinking when it comes to comic relief and some entertainment, I actually thought him and Guy Gardner were two of the best parts of the movie. So, but yeah, I agree. I wouldn't mind a different writer here. Like I said, though, it's kind of tough to tell like the boss man of DCU that you're going to want a different writer. And you don't want him to put his best foot forward on this one. So it was kind of inevitable, but, you know, I definitely wish we could have had a different writer as well. Like I said, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if anyone in the chat has like an idea of someone they wanted to write this to keep a similar tone, but still give us more depth. I'd be interested to hear like any suggestions. I don't have any in the top of my head. Like I really can't think, but wouldn't have minded seeing a different writer than James Gunn. Sean's in the chat. What's up, dude? How are you, man? How's the Friday night been? Not bad. I mean, you know, I was supposed to start this stream like 20 to 30 minutes earlier, but OBS had different ideas and wanted to update and shut the whole shit down on me. But we're live. We're good. We're still kicking. We're surviving. So can't complain too much. Hope you're having a good night as well. Dark room. I can't even talk, dude. My R's are off the chain right now. Dark room reviews. And there's a lot of R's in that one. Sully, happy weekend, man. Happy weekend to you too. Hope you're having a good one. Did you get a chance to see Superman yet? I can't remember if I saw that you saw it yet, but curious to see what you think about it. Which character would you like to see have a movie next? I mean, cop out for my earlier answer. I'm really just looking forward to that Swamp Thing movie with Mangold. I think that could be awesome. If done correctly, obviously like such a dumb thing to say because you want these movies to be done correctly. You assume they're going to be, but I want to see Mangold Swamp Thing very badly. Zach saying he thought it was solid and fun, but not great. Yeah, I mean, I agree. It gave me kind of what I was expecting out of it because I didn't think it was going to be like some peak experience. I wish that it was, but kind of gave me what I was expecting, and I'm happy with the film, which is more than a lot of other people can say. So I'm happy. I vibed with it a little bit more. Dark Room Reviews with the $2 super chat. Thank you, dude. You did not have to do that. Do you plan on doing a James Gunn film ranking? I don't know. I don't know if I'm planning on doing an official one. You know, pull up his pull up Letterboxd right now and just kind of see where I land. I don't actually know if I've seen everything. I think there's that one movie he did with Rainn Wilson, that like kind of like low budget superhero movie. Didn't see that, but right off the rip, like the ones that I have seen, this is tough. I might go Slither, which is very solid horror, but you know, early in his career, not like a ton to dissect, but a fun little forgettable horror movie. Had some good scenes, awesome stuff with Michael Rooker in there, like tons of practical effects, and he's insane in that movie. I would highly suggest you check it out. If not, it has a ton of, I mean, you know, Gunn's one of those guys that always jam packs his movies with his buddies. So a ton of people that are in these latest films, you'll see in Slither if you haven't checked that out. Then I'd probably go Superman. Then I'd probably go Guardians 2. Then I'd go The Suicide Squad. Then I'd go Guardians 3. Then I'd go Guardians 1. That's just off the top of my head. I would probably need more time to analyze all that, but those Guardians movies rock, man. They're so good. The first and the third one especially. Zach saying the Batman's his favorite live action Batman as well. Yeah, I have to agree. I like Bale a lot. You know, I like Bale a lot, but Pattinson just does it for me. Like, I've been so in his corner for so long, so it was awesome to see him get like such a mainstream, huge, larger than life role like this. So I already knew I was going to love it. But yeah, I think he's my favorite too. I didn't really grow up with any affinity to like the Keaton role or the Kilmer version. And definitely not the Clooney version either. Lego Batman's probably better than the Clooney version. Probably not that much of a hot take. Who would I like to be the villain in the Batman 2? That's tough. Let me see. What do I want? So I'll say sometimes we get these movies where there's more than one villain. There's one kind of like complementary villain, and then there's a main villain. I'll take Mr. Freeze, even though that does kind of remove the grounded tone a little bit. I just think it would be so sick. That rumor has been beaten into my skull for so long since the Batman was released that I wouldn't mind it being Mr. Freeze. And then with a side character, a side villain, if you will, I wouldn't mind Man-Bat flying around. I know that completely contradicts everything I was saying about keeping the grounded tone with Pattinson, but a Batman movie where he's fighting Mr. Freeze and Man-Bat, I mean, seated immediately. Absolute cinema. It's very hard to get behind Superman, and I haven't seen the movie yet, but I feel like it's not going to change my mind about the character, and that's when the writing needs to be good. Yeah, I mean, I'm in a similar boat, right? Like, I went into it not being a massive fan of the character, not having a huge history with them. So the writing really would have to do a lot of legwork to convince me to kind of like get on board and really love this character. So unfortunately, I'll have to agree with you. Like, I don't think this film's going to change your mind about the character, or I don't think you're going to leave this one having a new favorite superhero. Hopefully down the line, they give him more of like what we're looking for when it comes to like, character development and stuff. So you'll actually leave the theater being like, oh, wow, I actually love this character. I mean, think about the last time that happened to me was, with what the MCU did with Thor. Those first two movies, he was like bottom of the barrel when it came to the roster of Avengers for people I cared about. Didn't dig what he was doing at all. It was just like overly serious. Didn't really dig the comedy either. Ragnarok flipped it on its ass. He became one of my favorites after that movie alone. We don't talk about Love and Thunder in this house, in these four walls, but, just a good example of a character I didn't really care about. And then after a couple movies, I was like, it took a radical shift, but I was like, yeah, that was awesome. Superman was very much like the Batman with the alter egos. Hardly got any Bruce Wayne in it. Yeah. I mean, they kind of both gave me what I wanted in these first films, though. Like, I'm not going to beat around the bush and say that I don't want the majority of it to be actual superhero stuff. I definitely do. But I think going forward, yeah, we should see more of both sides of those characters, the actual, human identity versions of those characters. Zach says, Superman's my favorite DC superhero, and the writer has to trust the character, and I didn't think Gunn trusted him. Yeah, you're probably right. I mean, he very much made a James Gunn movie. I don't think there's any denying that. I think you could probably read the script without seeing the visuals, take the name off of the front of the manuscript, and you'd probably be like, did James Gunn write this? I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing for a character like this when they're trying to give him a fresh start and a new identity, but just kind of how he writes. That's what happens. Sean says, I like the movie for what it was. Not really my thing going into it, to be honest. That being said, I would have been a lot higher on it if it let serious moments run without comedy every time. I'd have went 2.5 to 3.5. Yeah, and that's fair. I mean, that's definitely something I touched on in my review is just, those moments where a battle ends or something epic happens or a pep talk just finished. It doesn't linger at all, right? Like, it is rapid fire on to the next moment, fighting a kaiju, rescuing a neon-colored baby in some pocket universe, fighting off a woman that spawns shurikens out of her hands. I mean, it was nonstop in that regard. The character moments in the drama didn't have a second to breathe. I definitely want to see that change in the next iteration, which is going to be very interesting. Like I said, another thing to compare with the Supergirl movie. Like, did Craig Gillespie write it? I don't know if he wrote it, but if he did, it'll be interesting being like, okay, is this a James Gunn problem or is this a universe problem? Like, are we going to get a ton more dramatic character moments in Supergirl? I hope that we do. That's what I'm saying I'm looking for in this one. So, it'll be interesting to compare and contrast in that way. All right, let's see. What do we got next? What do we got? Rip to Shreds saying she was great in Sirens, talking about Millie Alcock. Yeah, I thought she was great. I thought the whole cast rocked it for the most part. There wasn't really a huge weak link. Plugging it again, it's like 5 episodes long. If you have bad weather on the weekend or whatnot, just watch it, man. You're going to get addicted. It's pretty fun. Limited series, no commitment. So I would watch it. Everyone in that's really good. Oh, God. What would be your ideal Fantastic Four movie? I don't even know what that looks like, man. Like, that's such a tough question. I'd be boiling the ocean with this one. I don't know. I'll just say for this upcoming version, I hope the comedy's toned down. I hope it doesn't fall into the Superman pitfalls. Like, I want those dramatic moments to linger. And from what I've seen in the trailer, I think it will. It seems more serious. I don't know. I'm a total passenger for this one. I can admit that, like, I'm a big fan, but I also don't really know what I want. I just hope it's well made. The characters have their moments to shine, each of all 4 of them. I hope Galactus isn't going to be one of those things where he's just in like the last 8 minutes of the movie as like a final threat, and we kind of see more about him. And, this is his big moment in the MCU. I hope that, same with Silver Surfer. I hope we get a lot of lore without it being too exposition heavy, but, I'm looking forward to seeing whatever happens. I have faith that it's going to be good. It's in such a prime release day slot, and Marvel seems to have a lot of faith in it. So definitely looking forward to it. What's next? Zach Attack saying, I heard another YouTuber say that the problem Superman is having over the years is creators have been catering the character to people my age and older. The younger audiences don't have their Superman. It's so tough, right? Because it's like, what do you want the character to be able to do, right? Like, I've heard some people say this, and I have to agree, in the sense of, if I was like 10 years old and you took me to go see this movie, I'd probably think it was like the best thing ever, and I'd want to see it again and again. Even if those dramatic moments aren't in there, I just don't think I would care about it that much when I'm that age, when I'm that impressionable. So I don't know if I agree fully. Like, I'm sure about a lot of young people are going to buy into Corenswet. But I do agree, you might say, like, the iterations of Superman when you were a kid were better or more dramatic or gave you a more holistic view of the character, then I can't argue with you there. But yeah, I don't know. I hope the younger audiences like this one, even though I wish it was a little bit better of a film. Zach saying, I think Gunn tried to make a Superman for preteens and teenagers to grow up with. Yeah, I mean, that makes more sense, right? Like, that probably checks out. There's definitely a lot in here catered to that kind of teen sense of humor. And I'm not saying there wasn't stuff that I laughed at, or it wasn't stuff that I didn't laugh at. There was definitely some funny moments and stuff. Probably too many of them. But yeah, preteens and teenagers, that probably hits a nail right in the head for who's going to like this the most, right? So I'm curious to see like what those reviews look like from that perspective. I think people really liked it in that age range. Could be wrong, but Obathorian Alliance saying, what was the last Star Wars movie you enjoyed? Well, I think if it comes to movie, it has to be Rogue One, right? Like, I didn't mind Solo. I think that kind of bombed because people were mad about The Last Jedi. I mean, I actually know that's why it bombed. I didn't go see it in theaters myself. I just wasn't really trying to make, a statement or anything like that. Not like Disney would ever listen, but I just didn't really have as much interest. But if I go to my ranking, I think the most recent, definitely the most recent film in the franchise that's come out that I really enjoyed was Rogue One. Before that, Revenge of the Sith, which is forever ago now. I mean, we just celebrated its 20th anniversary. That is absurd. That's really aging me right now. I saw that when I was like 8 years old or something like that. Was it then? Oh, wait. It came out in 2005, right? So never mind. I was 11. I was 11 when I saw that. Loved it. Awesome movie. Second best Star Wars movie for my money. All right. Rip to Shred saying, can't wait for Swap Thing. Yeah, dude. I really think that movie's going to be awesome. It has so much potential to be like gothic and spooky, and like it's going to be such a vibes movie. It really, all of the stuff is in there to make it feel like a unique superhero experience, or superhero comic book character experience, I should say more accurately. The possibilities are endless. I hope they don't muck that one up. Zach saying, after seeing how cool the Engineer's powers are, I'm excited for the Authority film if they still do it. Yeah, I know nothing about the Authority. I'm gonna need to read some comics before that one's on the horizon. But yeah, I mean, her powers are cool. I don't think she gave us a lot as a character in this movie, and like I said, I think that was probably just what was on the page. No fault to the actress, really. But yeah, her powers are kind of wild. It's like she's like the Harold in the Purple Crayon of superheroes, right? Anything she can imagine, she can make happen. That's quite the power. I mean, she almost suffocated Superman with nanobites down his throat. You probably have to think outside the box if that's your power. So, it'll be interesting to see what she does. I know nothing about the Authority. I didn't even know she was in that, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, we'll see what that looks like. I don't think we know anything right, like about who's supposed to direct that or pen that script or anything, right? Like, I know Star Wars and Marvel have a habit of letting us know those details way too early, and then those projects get canceled. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know anything about that project, but we'll see. I mean, realistically, I'm going to watch anything that's in this universe because I want to get invested and I want it to be good. So, I'm game for whatever. Rip to Shred saying, looking forward to Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein as well. Yeah, I mean, that is, I don't think I did a most anticipated movies of the year list this year for whatever reason. I think I was away in January, kind of missed the window there. But yeah, that is towards the top of my list. I'm really looking forward to that movie. Killer cast. I mean, I'll watch anything with Oscar Isaac in it. Same goes for Mia Goth. The two of them have been killing it in recent years. Oscar Isaac's another guy that, like, he got a little shit for the time away from really good movies since he was in Star Wars, but I'm sure that paycheck absolutely slapped. But glad to see him at the forefront doing stuff like this again. Guillermo del Toro rocks. Like, he's one of my favorites. Even if it's a film that I don't love at the end of the day, I just have to appreciate the vision he puts on screen, and he always does some pretty cool stuff. Zach saying Batman vs. Dracula, but scary grounded vampires would be cool. Yeah, I have not played around in that part of the Batman mythos. I know there's a couple of those, right? Like, isn't there like a Batman and Dracula, Batman and like Scooby-Doo or something? Like, there's some cool mini runs like that. Didn't he even fight a xenomorph? I could be wrong about that one. Maybe that was on the way, but I kind of want to read that. But yeah, Batman vs. Dracula, I mean, who knows how weird and how quirky they're going to get with the DCU Batman. Would be kind of cool to see that. I mean, even as like, they'll probably never do this, especially how they saw it go with Disney Plus and the TV shows there. But like with Werewolf by Night, would be kind of cool if they'd give us like a half an hour Batman mini adventure. Who knows if they'd ever do that, but something like you're talking about Batman versus Dracula, that would probably be perfectly suited for something like that in that format, but they're probably not going to do that, given how it went for Marvel. Like, I'm totally done. I skipped so many Marvel and Star Wars properties on TV. Seems like I was better off for it. Not a lot of them were reviewed that well. Critics didn't have too many nice things to say about it. I always want to go in and form my own opinion on these things, but if you don't have interest, you don't have interest. So, let's see, what do we got? Do you think superhero movies have overstayed their welcome? Do you think it's time for video game movies to be the new trend? I don't know they're going to end up kind of fitting into the same category. So I won't say that superhero movies have overstayed their welcome. I might say they've overstayed their welcome in their current formula. I think there was a lot of times back in the early stages of Marvel where we love a lot of those early movies just because it was the first of their kind in a cohesive universe. And, who knows, maybe a couple of those ones that we liked, not loved, but maybe a couple of the ones that we liked, if they came out now, they wouldn't be as received as well and just kind of be seen as going through the motions and another cog in the machine. So, I don't think they've overstayed their welcome. I am looking forward to, I'm a massive gamer. I grew up playing video games my entire life. So definitely looking forward to seeing more video game adaptations done with bigger budget and a lot of care. So, I legitimately jumped out of my seat when I heard they were doing an Elden Ring movie. Super interesting that it's going to be done by A24 because they don't love spending money on their movies when they can help it. They're not like a big blockbuster studio. And Elden Ring is a massive property that needs to have crazy visuals in world building. So, I don't know how it's going to go. I'll be there day one, hoping for the best, fingers crossed. Alex Garland is a guy that I've liked in the past. Love Ex Machina. That's one of my favorite movies of all time. He's another guy that sniffs his farts a little bit too much every once in a while. Maybe he gets lost in the sauce when it comes to his own writing, but I can't wait for an Elden Ring movie. I really don't care who's doing it. I just want to see it. So to answer your question, no. Do I think superhero movies have overstayed their welcome? They've overstayed their welcome in their current format. People are realizing you need to do more. You need to switch it up. You need to flip the genre on its head for audiences to get behind it. So I'm down with that happening. I don't think they've overstayed their welcome in general as a genre, though. And I am looking forward to seeing more video game movies. I think that'd be pretty sweet. The credit scenes after Superman were a waste of my time. Yeah, I mean, I understand Gunn not wanting to give in to the Marvel formula of, just making people sit around to tease the next project, right? I understand he wants to do something a little bit different. He just wants a little tidbit or reward for sticking around watching this specific movie. But yeah, I mean, I wasn't thrilled with what we got at the end of that movie. Wouldn't have been upset leaving beforehand and just finding out someone saying hey, you missed these two scenes and this happened. I'd be like, whatever. Okay. Oh, that's a great call out. Zach saying The Incredibles is what Fantastic Four should be, but in live action. I mean, yeah, they pretty much are the Fantastic Four, right? One's really strong, one's really stretchy, one's invisible, one's really fast. We're kind of missing that one, but yeah, live action Incredibles. And I mean, even if I didn't know who the Fantastic Four were, hearing that pitch, it's yeah, it's The Incredibles, but live action and they're a family and they're really smart and they do cosmic, crazy multiverse shit. I'm all right, yeah, I'll watch it. But being a big fan of the characters in the comic books, I'm fired up for that. Do you think Superman was the wrong choice to start the new DC universe with? No, I mean, I think at the end of the day, it either has to be him or Batman, right? And I don't think... I mean, I guess maybe it would have been an interesting choice if he went right into Batman instead. Because it would be we just got a Batman movie in 2022. Now you're showing the audience that we're doing something different here, but with a new Batman. Would people get confused by that? So I think it makes sense to do it with Superman. I mean, he's the brand, right? He's even on the damn DC Universe, DC Studios logo, right? Bursting out of chains or whatever, right? So I think it made sense to go with him first. I wish the movie was a little bit better, like I've said. I got to keep reiterating that, but I do think it makes sense. It makes sense to show him first. Tank saying the first post-credit shouldn't even be called one. I agree with that. I like the second one because it showed how much Superman is a goody Boy Scout. I didn't need until after the credits to see that, though. Yeah, and I mean, I think it's very clear to see, right? That movie definitely existed in the regular time. I mean, that scene definitely existed in the regular timeline of the film, but they, for whatever reason, cut it out and wanted to share it as a little tidbit of the characters interacting with each other, which is interesting because that's probably like something this film was missing, right? So like I get what they were doing, but too little too late at that point, and we didn't need to see it then. But, you know, whatever. Darzan saying Cavill's the best. Yeah, I mean, I like Cavill. I like his iteration of the character. I think he was really good for that version. You know, would I have liked to see Cavill in this film? Not a chance. I don't think he really has that kind of like quirky goody two shoes vibe about him. But for the Snyderverse, yeah, I mean, he was a great choice. No complaints there whatsoever. Have you enjoyed TV shows more this year or movies? I'll probably say movies apprehensively, but there has been some good TV. I'm trying to think of what I've liked, like in the middle of season 4 of The Bear, or finishing up The Bear right now. That's been good. Yeah, I'm trying to think what else I've been watching. Oh, how could I forget Andor? Yeah, Andor like makes life worth living, and being a a Star Wars fan, palatable again. Like I really think the drama and the writing of Andor, I mean, that's like some of the best shit we've gotten that franchise since the original trilogy that kicked the whole thing off. So, you know, no complaints there. Andor slaps. And even though I'm sad to see it go, you know, 2 seasons and out on top, like I can't complain. The rock star way to go about it. You know, that if it kept going, it would have tanked at some point. So I'm really happy they ended it when they did. But yeah, I'll probably say movies better right now, but it's close. You know, this hasn't been an awesome year. I thought last year for movies was the worst year for movies in the decade, other than the pandemic years where like content wasn't really being made. You know, sure, I'm not going to argue there, but outside of that, I think last year really wasn't good. This year hasn't been like that much better. So, you know, we've still got some months to go here to show me that I'm wrong, but you know, I don't really think it's been that good. You know, my hair is going crazy right now. You know what I should have done? I should have, before coming on the stream, I should have got like should have put a Superman curl in there, but you know, you live and you learn. Next time. What's a video game you'd like to see become a movie? I mean, cop out answer would be Elden Ring. I just think that is so dense of world building, and the action is incredible. The visuals have to be insane for that movie to be good, for you to come correct there. So I'll say that, but I'll say if I'm going to the horror space, give me Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. I'm a big horror video game guy. That would be a sick movie. And I would love to see who they cast in that. Like, if you get that with like an A-list cast or even like a B-list cast, there's some juicy roles in there. That would be a sick movie. A24 doing Elden Ring. Are they doing a Death Stranding movie? Did I miss that completely? I didn't know that. Which interesting too is like, I haven't played Death Stranding yet. I have a PS5. I'm gonna play it at some point, but I've heard it's like just a walking simulator, kind of like oh my God, what's his name? I can't believe I'm forgetting the Walking Dead guy's name. Daryl. What the heck is his name, dude? The guy that was just in Ballerina. Total brain fart. But yeah, I've heard it's a walking simulator for him. So it's kind of interesting that it's going to be a movie, but you know, we'll see. This is the first I'm hearing about it. I don't know if we have any other details on that, but Luke stopping into the stream. Sully, my man, hope you're well, dude. I'm good. Hope you're good too. You know, it's a Friday night talking about Superman and movies. People running into the chat. I can't complain. As one of my good buddies says, had worse Fridays, and I'd have to agree with him. Sean coming in saying, would you like to see more general seriousness in superhero films, less soft PG-13 humor, allowing serious emotional themes and moments to linger / upset? Deadpool and the Batman both prove there's demand. Yeah. I mean, I definitely want to see more of that. How it's going to manifest and who's going to step up to the plate and do it, I don't know. You know, I really have no idea there. But yeah, you know, I would like to see it just as like a tonal fundamental thing, right? Like not just, oh, in the next Superman movie, there's this 20-minute period that's pretty serious and then it goes back to being goofy the whole time. Like, give us full projects where you're not afraid to be serious for the whole tone. Like that seems like something Marvel is not too keen on doing. They love injecting their comedy. But I mean, that'd be sick. Give us a full drama. I wouldn't be too upset about that. You can still have your little like one-off funny moments. I mean, like Sam Raimi's Spider-Man movies, like they're quirky, they're funny, but they're not like shoving it down your throat. If I got more tones like that, I'd be fine with that. Maybe something even more serious, but like baby steps, I guess. You know, we can't expect too much out of them right there. Matt Bomer is the best Superman. This is like, I think I just froze. Hold on. Uh-oh. It's frozen on my end, at least. Hold on, let me see if we can fix this. What is going on, dude? Can you guys still hear me through this? This is so weird. Let me see if I can, hold on. Oh my God, why isn't this working? This is so bizarre. All right, hold on. I'm going to try something here. Let's see. I mean, look, you're seeing how the sausage is made here, man. Like, I don't know what is going on with this. Hold on. We're going to try this again. Plugging this in. What is going on? Oh my God, I'm cooked. What is happening here? You know what? I'm gonna take out the camera from the OBS input and put it back in. Let's see what happens here, all right? What on earth? All right, we're gonna remove this. Let's see what's going on. Video capture device. Oh my God. I can't look at this frozen picture of me anymore. All right, I'm going to fully remove it. Go full new. Let's see. Camera. All right, step 1, device. Oh my God. I did it. Am I good? Can you guys hear me all right now? Let me know if you guys can hear me all right. If not, I don't know what to do, and it's going to have to end there. But if you say that it's okay, then we should be good. Like, is there any echo? It's kind of showing that my camera audio is still going crazy. So you tell me if you're like, if this is echoey as hell or if I'm good. All right. Zach says I'm back. So I'm going with that then. I'm going with that. That was like going to be the most bizarre way to end the stream. But anyway, going back to that comment, you know, that's the glories of being a one-man show, ladies and gentlemen. I didn't even know Matt Bomer was Superman. Is this a thing? What? Oh my God. Wait, he says that he got the role and then lost his 3-picture Superman deal in the early 2000s after he came out as a gay man. I don't know anything about this. I'm so lost, dude. Well, all right. No, that's interesting. I did not hear about that. So that's definitely news to me, but I don't know how I'd feel about him being Superman. I mean, an interesting choice, but never happened. So I don't need to think about it, I guess. Leo saying this whole year is just waiting for Wicked, but I'm excited for Fantastic Four in 3D 4DX. Yeah. You know what? Someone sell me on it right now. Like, I've never seen a movie in 4DX. I don't even know where the nearest one is near me, but never seen it. Didn't know if I would like it. I don't know if I would. So curious if anyone's had any good experiences there. But, you know, I don't usually like going on a roller coaster ride when I'm at the movies, but if you say it's good, maybe I'll have to check something out. Maybe I'll make like a vlog video out of it or something. All right, what do we got? Eric saying, nice to see you attending those early screenings. Keep climbing the ladder. Dude, I mean, thank you for saying that. The praise isn't all on me here, right? Like, if people weren't tuning in and watching my reviews and subscribing, then PR firms would laugh me out of the building when I say I want to get invited to stuff early. So, I have you guys to thank just as much as you have to thank me, I guess. Or, I probably should be thanking you guys more. So thanks for making it possible. This year has been awesome. I just started getting on press lists and getting reserved seats and not needing to wait hours upon hours in line for movies anymore, starting in January. So, it's been awesome. And thanks for saying that. Ghost of Tsushima, if that's how you say it, I don't know, that's how you typed it, but God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn would be great films. Yeah, I mean, I know we're getting the God of War Amazon show, right? I am back and forth on that. Those games rock. I don't know if you're going to find someone that'll bring like that insane aura of Kratos to the screen, and it's an Amazon TV show. Those haven't always gone the best, but it's one of those things, like, it's the unfortunate scenario, right? Like, I can get on here and say what I'm going to say, but it's kind of like the Harry Potter TV series. I can shit talk it all I want. I'll probably be watching it the second it airs. So, Tank saying TV has been way better. Severance, Silo, Sandman Season 2, Murderbot just finished today, and it was really awesome. The Pit, Studio, Reacher, Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, Duster, and Paradise. I want to watch Duster because I'm a big Lost guy, and I know Josh Holloway is the dude in that show, so I'm curious to see how he's been doing. I want to watch that. That's HBO, right? I think, so I'll check that out. But yeah, Severance is rocked. I haven't seen Silo, but people keep telling me it's right up my alley, so I should check that out. Haven't watched Murderbot. The Pit is probably going to stress me the hell out, but I know I need to watch that too. Zach saying, A24 is partnering with Kojima Productions to develop a live-action film adaptation of the video game Death Stranding. The film will be directed by Michael Samosky. Who is that? Should I know who that is? I'm going to Google that. Michael Samosky. Oh, wait a sec. If you're talking about Michael Sarnowski, and I hope you are, yeah, he did. So I know he did that last Quiet Place movie. I did not see that, but he did Pig with Nicolas Cage. Awesome movie. Like, arguably the best movie of 2021. Definitely going to be a change for him to see how he's going to attack that. But yeah, no, I think that'd be cool. I like I said, I don't really know a lot about Death Stranding. I have the first one, haven't really played it, didn't get around to it, but I obviously hope it's good. Just as a big video game guy. So let's see, what do we got next here? Oh yeah, you said that there. Known for Pig in the upcoming A Quiet Place Day One, or not upcoming. It already came out, but you thought your internet when I froze. Yeah, I don't know what just happened there. I was confused as hell. I mean, so I'll say this: something I'm really bad at is I've got my PC here. I built it myself. I built like a few, and it's like so much fun. It's just like a more high stress Lego that if you get an electric shock, you could zap the whole thing and be out like $3,000. Doesn't that sound like a great time? But no, I really like building them. I started doing it during the pandemic. This is like my third one. So I do all my like streaming and filming and editing on this and gaming. But I have like a terabyte or 2 terabyte hard drive. And I'm telling you, dude, those video files, oh my God, do they clog up some serious space on my hard drive. So I've had to delete a bunch of stuff just to like keep it afloat. I need to fix that. So I honestly think my computer was telling me it's crapping out because I need to free up some space, some storage, and some memory. But everyone's saying the camera's back, no echo, thank God. Let's see. What's the most important element in a TV show and movie? Is it the writing, the filming? What does it have to do to draw you to it? It's tough, right? Because off the bat, I would say a film or a TV show, like who's in it is gonna attract me to it. But, you know, the writing ends up being just such an important, you know, it's the lifeblood of the whole thing. You can have the best actors in the world. If the writing is absolute shit, I don't know how much longer I'm going to be paying attention. So I'll say writing. I think it should be writing. Obviously, you need a killer concept, but like even if you don't have an awesome concept, if your writing can back it up, then like, you know, pretty much solves all your issues. Whew. Okay. It is 1 a.m. Eastern time. I've gotten to the bottom of this chat. I like had stuff to talk about, but people were rifling off questions. Like I loved that. You know, I'll always take that. So I'm going to pack it in. I'm going to crawl into bed, probably watch something. I don't know what, because I'm like caught up on all the stuff I wanted to before next week's screening. Is like watched all the I Know What You Did Last Summer movies. You know, I might need to watch Beau is Afraid before seeing Eddington, but, you know, maybe I'll get to that. That might be kind of a long watch at 1 a.m. in the morning, so maybe I'll skip that. But appreciate everyone hopping in the chat, saying hello, asking questions. I always say I got to do lives more. I really do need to do lives more, so, you know, keep me honest on that. Yell at me in the comment section if you ever want me to do one, and I'll probably, you know, say, oh, yeah, all right, it's about time. But thanks for coming out. Talk to you guys later, and go watch a movie.